now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
And we are recording. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Friends of Rugby.
Echo.
We are recording on location.
First time ever.
Currently in the women's visitors change room of our rugby clubhouse.
It's funny because it's true.
Never thought I would record a podcast.
Why are we doing this?
This was your idea.
Tell Levi while we're doing it.
This was all your idea.
Yeah, isn't it a good one?
I was like, because we have our AGM today.
Yeah, we do.
And you're like, oh, what should we do? And I'm like, well, let's just watch rugby and record a podcast. Like,
Yeah.
fuck the AGM.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, we have to be there. We should just watch a game here at the clubhouse and then record here. So this is all your plan.
Yeah. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. And you're kind of late for your own plan.
What you on about? See,
You
3
showed
hours
up-
ago.
The game started at 8:15. You showed up at 8:10.
Yeah. So I was early
Oh, my gosh.
and we watched
That's
the whole
not
game.
early. That's late.
No, it's 5 minutes early. I don't know how plumbing works, but that was early.
No. When you're supposed to be somewhere or be somewhere, you're supposed to be there like at least 15, 20 minutes early.
No. And I'm not late to things, so I don't know what the fuck you're on about. Like, whatever anxiety you have, you just got a worse version.
Because you have prepare time.
Yeah.
Like, you have to... If
It just sounds like you have mental health problems.
If you have to do any kind of preparing or something like that,
Yeah.
you have to account for that time too.
Yeah, you just have serious anxiety.
No.
I've just got mild anxiety.
No.
Yeah, that's what's happening here.
So what do you want to talk about first today?
I don't think there's any like news that caught my eye.
There was some news.
Oh, there was some news?
There was some news this week.
What's that? Tell me the news.
Someone regained their freedom.
Oh. Felix Jones.
Felix motherfucking
free.
Jones is a
Yeah.
free man.
Low lie. Fields
England
of
has
Athenry.
Let them... England has opened the doors, let him free.
Yeah.
He walked out, the sun hit his eyes.
And he
like,
was a bit scared and they were like, don't worry, he'll be okay in the wild again. He wasn't born in captivity.
So that's something to celebrate.
It is.
When someone regains their freedom,
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
hard rumors about him. To where? Guess.
Ireland.
Munster.
Oh, makes perfect sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
obviously. Yeah. Oh, that's not even, that's definitely happening.
I'm surprised it actually hasn't been announced already.
Yeah. I think
I was for sure they were like going to do it right away as soon as he got his like papers,
yeah.
like his freedom papers, that they were going to like sign him up right away.
I think head coach roles straight away. I know that.
We can almost call it
I am. That's what I'm doing. This is a call.
because that's pretty much going to definitely happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really think they should have fired Graham Roundtree. But, what the fuck do I know?
I feel like people in the upper management, they're so out of touch
Yeah.
with what's actually going on
Yeah.
that they have to do something and they just make these like stupid that's why they're always making stupid decisions
Yeah.
because they're just checked out and then something happens where they have to do something and it's just completely reactionary.
Yeah. It did feel like that.
The whole world was like, Graham Roundtree fired. Like, how does that happen?
You've just fired a successful coach,
Like, no one agreed with that.
Yeah. And had Munster come in last place in the league and lost every game, even then I would have been like, give him some space. He's won you a championship. But, they wouldn't even do it. Yeah, they didn't have the best starts to the season. They haven't had the best starts to the season in 3 years. And one of those years, they won the URC.
Yeah.
So, poor
No
little bugger.
faith.
No
faith in Graham Roundtree.
Yeah.
But Felix Jones, I can probably assume, pretty sure, confident.
Yeah,
He'll
well,
be
their
the new
defense will be
coach.
good. That's what we can say that with a certainty, can't
Imagine
we?
Felix Jones and Ronan O'Gara in charge of the Ireland squad.
That'd be
that
pretty
tandem.
cool. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Because they're both workaholics. They're both super
Intense.
analytical people.
Yeah.
It'd be the most analytical team
And Ireland are already known for having a very strict sort of structured plan, aren't they? So
I wonder what their camp is like.
I think it's good. I
They
think it's just
have
very,
fun?
yeah. It's. I mean, I don't
Is there
think they.
fun that happens?
No, there's no fun, but it's very like what happens there is good rugby
Who do you
stuff.
think, if you had to, out of the Six Nations, who do you think has the hardest camp?
Oh, Wales, easily,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the toughest camp.
Oh, in terms of what? What are your metrics?
Practice, attritional, mentally, like
I see. No, it might be Ireland.
like what squad has the least amount of fun and the most amount of work?
I'd say Ireland. Yeah.
Wasn't it a thing that Louis Rizamet was talking about, like NFL practice versus rugby practice?
Yeah.
And there was nothing harder than Warren Gatlin's practices.
Yeah, he said that Warren Gatlin's World Cup training camps are the worst ever. Yeah, because they take them to the mountains and basically torture them for about a month. But it worked, right? Like when we were the fittest team in the world, like you could tell, like we could play for 120 minutes.
That was I miss those days
Yeah.
when Wales were like
You miss those
these
days.
fit,
You know.
you know, they were the fittest squad.
Yeah. We weren't just that. We had a good squad. They were fitter than everyone else. They were hard bastards. Yeah. Yeah, I fucking miss those days.
Well, talking about no fun, do you want to get into the Champions Cup?
Why is it no fun?
How's your feelings about the Champions Cup so far?
Actually, yeah, we were talking about this, weren't we? Not good.
Not good
The
at
prestige has gone, and the lopsided results and the lack of A squads being sent means that this should be the elite. This should be the best of the best club competition, and it's not as exciting as the URC is right now.
It's getting to the point where it's almost not worth it to watch these pool stage games.
Yeah,
I almost want to like ignore the games.
yeah,
Wait for the knockout stages where everything counts, where everyone's going to take it serious, because there is
Yeah.
just way too much team dropping in this tournament.
yeah. As we're speaking, Exeter are playing Toulouse. I know who's won that game, and it's 0-0 right now. I'll tell you who's won that game. It's Toulouse. Do you know what I mean? But that's not even the best example of this, because I imagine Exeter taking it seriously and putting out the best team. They're just not playing that well. Toulouse are superlatively good, but when we talk about some of these results, I'm not the best game predictor, but some of the predictions I got wrong are entirely because one team sent a B team. You know, that's the only reason, as far as I can see.
I feel like there's a couple teams in this championship that's going for it every game.
Yeah,
Munster, Leinster,
Yeah.
Bordeaux,
yeah,
Toulon,
yeah. Toulouse.
Toulouse, sorry.
Yeah.
Northampton.
Well, they lost
I would-
last week, but they
No,
definitely.
they didn't. They destroyed Cast last week.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Never mind.
Yeah. So I just, it's kind of souring it for me.
It is, eh? Let's go to Friday and talk about the two games there, and you can summarize how it shows some silliness.
Well, you could see right off the bat the difference between Sale and Racing and
Yeah, 'cause I-
Cast versus Munster.
Yeah, I called Racing to win, and that's also because I think Sharks are a bit of a letdown. But yeah, look at Racing's team, right?
When we do the calls for, they won't be starting up till January. Next time we do predictions for a rugby championship round, we'll have
Yeah.
to take into account home and away, who's going to take a team.
You mean we should research the things we're talking about more?
Well, you can already tell. If a French team is playing away,
Yeah,
they're most likely going to send a B team.
yeah,
If a South African team is playing up north,
yeah,
they're most likely going to send a B team.
yeah.
If anyone has to go to South Africa, except for Glasgow, Munster, they're going to send a B team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? I'm looking at the Racing. You saying Racing or Racing? I'm going to say Racing.
I say Racing because everyone else says Racing.
Yeah. It's not a terrible squad, actually. But I know they have a better team than that. You know what I mean? Actually, sales teams looks pretty stacked.
Because they were home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they were playing at home.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
The fans just get robbed.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I think if I look back 10 years and having always been a fan of like Cardiff, but even wider the Welsh regions, I always just knew like they're not going to compete in that competition. And then even recently, like Ospreys took a few scalps, and as much as that's a good thing, I just like they don't deserve to take those scalps when I look at the team sheets back to back, right? Mm-hmm. And it just shows you this competition, because of the way they've restructured, it means that the results are like predictable, and like I said, it doesn't feel as exciting as the URC. Doesn't even feel as exciting as the Gallagher Prem, which I know no slight on the Gallagher Prem. It's just not the league I follow, but I would rather watch that than the Champions Cup this year. And we're going to go bloody watch the final. I mean, the final will be good. The final will be good
because all that's left is the teams that actually want to win the competition.
Yeah. And at that point, you're obliged to put out your best side, aren't you?
Yeah. Because there is some teams that are actually taking this serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it really comes down to, it's just, I think the whole problem of this whole thing is how everyone gets a pass.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
How everyone gets to go to the knockout stages.
Yeah.
So you could really, honestly, if like last year, Munster made it to knockout stages by winning one game.
They did. Could do. So there's some teams here who are going to do that.
I think there's some team. I think you could almost make it if the circumstances are right with bonus points. You can make it without even winning a game.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
Like what kind of championship, what kind of tournament is that where you can possibly make it into the knockout stages by losing every game?
I want to talk about the game we just watched, which was Glasgow-Toulon, because that kind of happened, but I want to just go through some of the games chronologically as well. So if we look at Saturday, Bulls and Northampton, what do you think?
See, this is where Northampton went to the Bulls.
Yeah.
Bulls had their Willie LaRue.
They had the Villy.
So this is good on Northampton.
This is
a thumbs up for Northampton. They were good boys.
Yeah, they were.
You pat those boys on the head.
Yeah, yeah.
You get a little slap on the bum.
Yeah, they get a little
good job.
Party bag when they go home.
Where are they in the Prem?
Northampton?
Yeah.
Not in the top 4, despite being...
Because they've been really hot and cold this year.
They have.
They're kind of like building. I think they're kind of like building into their squad.
They have. Well, they were missing Alex Mitchell as well, and I know he's a big part of what's good about them. So they had a few injuries, but this is the sad thing, right? So you just said good for Northampton. That was a good game between two good sides. Mm-hmm. It's sad that we have to talk about it in those terms. We have to say before we say anything else, was it their best team?
Oh, thank you for trying.
Yeah, thanks for making an effort.
Thank you for taking the tournament serious.
Yeah,
guys.
Both of you made an effort, and we appreciate that. But they had their
the
Villy.
Bulls is the one with that has what's his name, Marcel Coetzee.
Yeah, the largest man in the sport.
Is it him?
Him and Will Skelton they've got to have a large man off.
This guy is a fucking ogre.
He is.
He is legit fucking ogre.
Yeah.
He is massive.
Yeah. He is.
He got a try on the weekend when he was running to that try line. I was like, there's no one in the world that's going to stop. I
would run away. I would run away.
I would hide too. I'd call the police.
Yeah. I'm being chased.
The police would show up to this rugby pitch.
Yeah.
What's going on? This man. This ogre.
Look at the size.
He's a fucking ogre.
There's a spooky monster chasing me.
Like, he is Bigfoot. Like, this is imagine you see him walking in the woods. Like, you would take a picture of him. Like, holy fuck, that's Bigfoot. He exists. He's just like all around big. Everything about him, his head, his nose, like everything was like huge.
And he's got low body fat as well. That's the thing. Like, his musculature is like veiny and big.
Yeah,
like,
he's fucking. He's just an impressive specimen.
Yeah, because when you see a lot of these other big guys that'll have a bit of a beer gut because all they do is fucking eat KFC, but this guy is just, I know, he's a specimen, isn't he?
Did you want to say anything about Cast and Munster?
No, unless you do. Not being churlish. I just don't know enough. So you tell me.
The only thing about this game was that Munster just they let that penalty at the end and it cost them. They had this game in the bag.
Oh, they did?
Yes, they had the game in the bag.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, and they fucking just couldn't hold on.
Oh fuck.
Good on Cast. I think Cast has Tyler Ardron playing for them.
Oh, Canadian superstar.
It's kind of impressive that he's like one of the best players in the top 14.
Yeah.
He was one of the best players in Super Rugby, and he's a guy from Canada. There's a dude from Ontario.
Yeah. Who just doesn't want to play for you anymore.
No.
Maybe now Kingsley's
like literally
like
he's like in his prime.
Yeah.
And he's like, I retired from international.
I think he used to play in Wales as well. Did Tyler Ardron? I think he used to play for the Ospreys, I think.
Yeah, he did. I think he did play for there's a lot of Canadians that played for
we've had
Scarlets and Ospreys.
Yeah, we've had 3 or 4 guys play for the Scarlets and Ospreys, yeah. back when people wanted to come and play in Wales. But yeah, no, like I like Munster in Europe. Like I'm not trying to be, I have a bit of a hate boner for Leinster. Like I like Munster. Like I want them to do well, and because they've got a history in the. Obviously Leinster have a history in the competition, but like I like watching Munster in this competition because they do seem to like turn it up for the Champions Cup, don't they? So if it was a close game and they just lost, that's a shame. But like you said, they'll still probably make.
They've already won one game.
Yeah, so
they're already in the knockout.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they can send a development side next week. It's not a big deal.
100%.
Yeah.
Ulster, Bordeaux. This is another game. Bordeaux went over to Ulster.
What did you say earlier? You just said Ulster just aren't that good. Stand by that?
They're just not that good.
You just stand by that?
I would stand by that.
Yeah.
Why? Do you got some kind of counter?
No.
You got some kind
of
I
just like Ulster. I've always felt like them and Cardiff in the URC. They have very bridesmaid, not the bride feelings, because when they both attack, they both have very special attacks. Like they can really tear you apart from anywhere on the field. And Ulster will surprise teams 2 or 3 times a season, right? They'll have like a purple patch for 2 or 3 games, and then they'll just fall off a cliff. Bordeaux, obviously really good. I just don't know. If I'm an Ulster fan, it's kind of like being a Cardiff fan. Maybe you just kind of expect to lose these games.
Now, this game was a game of 2 halves.
Yeah, it was.
So in the first half, it was neck and neck. Great game.
Yeah.
And then the second half came in, and Bordeaux just unleashed.
Yeah, yeah. It's depth, isn't it? It's money, it's depth. They just have that, and Ulster don't. They just don't have the depth to compete. And I've seen that a million times with Cardiff as well. They'll be up by 3 tries in the first half, and then the second half they'll just don't have the energy or the bench to stay in the fight. And it just felt like that with Ulster as well. Like they just don't have the depth to stay in these games, But I don't know.
If we go on to Leinster, Clermont.
Leinster, Clermont. Oh, okay, yeah.
What list are you looking at?
I'm looking at the Rugby Pass Score Live. Yeah.
Yes, because you sound surprised when I said Leinster, Clermont.
I thought you mispronounced Leicester, because in my list it's Leicester then and the Sharks.
No, it's Leinster and then Clermont.
Okay, I'll let you lead the charge here.
Yeah, I got the proper list here. Okay, back after technical difficulties.
Leinster, Clermont. Tell me about Sam Prendergast. I've not heard a lot about him. Tell me just tell me about this little unknown kid.
I'm making a big call. He's going to be on the Lions tour.
I don't think that's a big call.
You don't think that's a big call?
I mean, I think he's going to be a bolter, but I think every single person who has a microphone and is interested in rugby is probably saying the same thing.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
Do you think he's going to make it into the
Actually, no, I don't.
Squad?
No, I don't. That's why I'm being a bit of a piss taker here. I think that you already have 3 very good fly halves to choose from.
Who are those?
Marcus Smith, Jack Crowley, Finn Russell.
What about Owen Farrell?
Well,
Andy Farrell's son.
Yeah, I don't think he's picking Owen Farrell.
You don't think Andy Farrell is going to pick Owen Farrell for the Lions?
No, because
tour?
I think it's about 10% of him who is not going to do it because of who he is. He doesn't want those accusations of nepotism. So I think his subconscious biased against his son because he's like, yeah. And I think Owen Farrell,
that's the big call.
And he's a really good rugby player. I just don't think he's too old. He's a great guy to bring off the bench, maybe. But like, if I'm starting maybe Finn Russell, I can bring Marcus Smith off the bench.
If you watched the last 2 games that Leinster played, if you actually watched them, you would hands down agree with me on everything I'm saying.
You can't base things off 2 games.
It doesn't matter. We'll just wait to the next game. That you could see talent.
Yeah.
You could see talent.
I've no doubt he's incredibly talented.
Yeah.
I've no doubt. Yeah. I just feel bad for Jack Crowley as well. Like he's worked his ass off to be.
Why do you feel bad for Jack Crowley?
Because he's done nothing wrong. And I mean, even when I say nothing wrong, I mean he's been excellent. Like he's really earned his replacing Johnny Sexton ribbon.
Yeah.
But
Sam Prendergast is better. Like that's just just the thing.
Is he though?
Yes, I would say he is.
I think Jack Crowley's been tested at international level in a way that Sam Prendergast hasn't.
Sure, I agree with you.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that a player can't be better than another player. Like he's better. I think Sam Prendergast brings more. He's just more of an offensive threat.
That may be the case, but there's no.
And he opens up the offense in a way that Ireland need.
That's what Jameson Gibson Park's for. Open up the offense, That's the way they play. They have their zippy 9. and they're sit back 10.
No, it's a new age.
Okay.
And Jack Crowley is not a sit back 10.
No, he's not.
No,
he's not. Not at all.
But Sam Prendergast is like his vision, his offensive vision, like how he's reading the defense. Like it's just, it's sharper.
This is like picking your favorite NSYNC member, really. You know, they're all sexy in their own way.
Yeah, but some of them can't sing. Some of them are better singers.
I don't know. I picked a really bad analogy to get into. I have fucking no idea about the quality of NSYNC.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is Sam Prendergast is Justin Timberlake. Was Justin Timberlake an NSYNC?
Yes, don't even bring them up.
No, I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I'm a few years older than you, so I know.
All right.
I know the NSYNCs.
Okay.
I know them NSYNCs and the Backstreet Boys.
All right, you're in sync with NSYNC.
So I know which ones are the bad singers and the good singers.
Okay, fair enough.
Ones that were just the fillers.
I shouldn't have picked something you were an expert in, which I knew nothing about. I shouldn't have done it.
That was wrong.
But you get what I'm saying. You get the vibe. You know.
I think after the Six Nations, you can really. I think that's where everything's going to be decided based on the Six Nations.
Spooky conspiracy. Simon Easterby starts Sam Prendergast, thus undermining Andy Farrell. So then when Andy Farrell comes back, Simon Easterby has kind of put doubts in people's minds. This is the beginning of the end for Andy Farrell, and we're about to see the rise of Simon Easterby.
Are you going back to that conversation you had with that World Rugby insider where you said that Andy Farrell was going to leave?
Yeah, I've got inside information that Andy Farrell...
We talked about that on the podcast.
We did, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
I like how scared you get. You always think that we're going to get like caught by the FBI.
We might.
We say on our podcast.
We're going to get a cease and desist letter from the FBI.
Because I could see you, when I bring certain things up, I can see you, like you physically start cringing.
Do I?
Yeah, if I start bringing something up or talking about something that makes you uncomfortable.
I'm just a sensitive guy.
Yeah.
You know, I do that when we don't talk.
What was that guy's name that you were talking to?
I genuinely can't remember.
I can see you just did it. Yeah. But
yeah.
So if this, you think this is part of the conspiracy that brought up last year?
Yeah, this is it. Simon Easterby's plotting Andy Farrell's downfall. You heard it here first.
I think I have no questions. If Andy Farrell ever leaves Ireland, Ronan O'Gara is coming in.
Felix Jones, Ronan O'Gara.
I think Ireland will be fine.
Oh yeah, they've got very good systems. I think Ireland are past the days where they're going to have ups and downs. I think they'll always be very good now.
They'll be completely fine, or Ronan O'Gara will have a complete fucking meltdown. Like he'll just overwork himself to death. Like, because you know how he's a psycho?
Yeah. I think that's kind of what Joe Schmidt did, isn't it? Like, he went a bit too...
Yeah, where he just has to take a step back.
Yeah.
He's like, I just have to... But he had, like, some, like...
Well, he's got... Yeah, I think he's got a kid with disabilities, which forces him to be a bit...
Yeah, one of his sons has a disability. He wanted to spend more time.
Yeah, which is fair enough, obviously. I'm not going to take the piss out of that. But Ronan O'Gara is pretty funny to take the piss out of because he always has temper tantrums on the sideline. So when he inevitably overworks himself and Ireland have a bit of a blip... so, you know, go back to the Leinster-Clermont game, though. I think Leinster haven't lost a game in... Have they lost a game at all this season? I don't think they have. No.
I think they haven't lost a game since last season.
Since they lost in the semi-final last URC. So I think that they've got obviously a really strong chance of getting to the final of this competition. And Clermont are a good team, you know. Clermont are a really good team. So for them to beat Clermont is a pretty big statement. I am sort of waiting for their end of season collapse a bit still because their line out looks ropey, just like Ireland's. Other than that, they're like pretty superlative. But I do wonder if they come up against another big French giant, and that's just the wobble that it takes to.
I feel like I kind of agree. I feel like Leinster, like they have the great squad. They haven't lost. I feel like they haven't been tested yet.
That's kind of that's what I'm getting at.
They haven't been tested all year. Like they're doing good. They've won, but I feel like where is the test coming from? And I think Clermont was their biggest test.
It was, yeah, it was.
And it was a super tight game right till the end.
It was tight, yeah. Like it could have gone either way, right? It could have gone either way.
But when you're bringing in RG.
That is the difference, isn't
and
it?
Jordy,
and
Barrett,
Slimani, Barrett, and Snyman. That was, I want to say it's smart, but like if I had the money, I'm signing those three guys. So smart isn't the right word. It's what they needed to finally get there. You know, have that consistency in all levels. You know, because they're not going to send a B team to South Africa anymore.
No,
they don't have a B team anymore. Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if because they have Ala Alatoa on Claremont now.
Yeah.
And he used to play for Leinster last year.
Yeah.
And I saw him out there, and I bet he was like, fuck, I wish he was still on this team.
But he was the guy who kind of blew it for Leinster in the final against Toulouse.
His fitness.
Yeah, it was a little penalty he gave away, you know? So, I don't know. Anything else to say about Irish 10s?
I can talk about Sam Prendergast.
I know you can.
I
know you fucking can.
You just don't like him because he's from Leinster.
Yeah, that's true.
If he was playing for if Sam Prendergast was playing for Bath or if he was playing at Bristol,
we wouldn't have heard about him.
You would be like, he's the best 10 in the world. You totally. If he was playing for an English team and he was English, you'd be all over him.
I wouldn't know his name.
I love him. He's the best. He's better than.
I love how you go for the lowest hanging fruit. You go for England rather than Wales to wind me up more.
Yeah, because
it's a good tactic.
Because you have a little hard on.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
We were talking earlier about how if we were different people, we probably would be friends. If we had feelings or souls.
No, I think it works.
This
is when I moved to Canada. No one understands piss taking, but you get it, and I like that about you, Steve. Because when I got here, when I met my wife, who's Canadian, she was like, "Why are you so mean to everyone?" It's like it's because I like them. It's because I like them.
It's a sign of love.
It is. Yeah.
On those things on Instagram or TikTok, it's like send to your first @ Do you want?
Yeah.
With kitchen, I'll flip it open. I guarantee you'll be the first.
Yeah.
Leicester. Okay, here it is.
Here we go. Here's the juicy one.
Leicester Sharks.
Yeah.
Again. What happened here?
We know what happened, right?
Yeah.
Because I called Sharks. I said if they play their A team, which is the Springboks, they don't lose that game.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
And they made 12 changes. They made 12 changes to their squad.
Yeah. And a part of me is like, okay, this is a lot of those Springbok guys have had a hell of a season, long draining season. I get wanting to rest them, but if you want to join Europe and you want to play in the best competition in Europe, you've got to take it seriously.
I can see how France do this, right? The French teams sending B squads over and win games, but they're part of Europe.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be in this championship.
Yeah,
you know the Sharks, they're invited in.
That's the thing. You have to earn our respect a bit. You do though. And I know that sounds kind of mean, but you need to prove to some of these traditionalists that you deserve to be here, and getting this isn't just a win for Leicester.
All the whinging and whining about how they deserve to be in the European Cup.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do shit like that?
Yeah. And Bulls got the same criticism last year. And I stuck up for the Bulls actually last year. Said, if you've got these guys on your team sheet, they're eligible to play. And I've changed my tune because the competition feels cheapened now. So
which I was surprised you defended the Bulls because you've been against these South African teams.
I usually am kind of anti-South Africa in Europe, aren't I?
Yeah.
And at the I just felt like there was a lot of hate at them, and I felt like it was a bit.
You needed to be the white knight.
I needed to be the white knight. I needed to be a contrarian for 10 minutes, But yeah, in this case, 56-17 to Leicester.
You shouldn't see these kind of scorelines in the championship.
Not at this level of competition. Sharks won the Challenge Cup last year, right? And they're much better in the URC. They're a really good team. They're a really good team. They should not ever lose to Leicester 56-17. So it's disappointing. And the same bloody thing happened. The scoreline is only 4 points different if we look at Harlequin Stormers. 53.
And the same thing happened there.
And
we know Harlequins aren't that good. We know the Harlequins are not that good.
Right.
They're not.
They're good.
They're not spanking Stormers.
No.
56-16.
Harlequins do not absolutely stamp on the Stormers. Do you know what I mean? I know Stormers have got some injuries, but that's not a thing that should happen, is it? So
a game where both teams put out a decent squad.
But
La Rochelle, Bristol.
But one of them just has a hell of a squad.
Yes.
Don't they?
One of them have a super squad.
Yeah. And I think Bristol tried their hearts out, didn't they?
Man, Prem is getting exposed.
It is a bit.
Got exposed. Where is Bristol in the standings?
Second.
They're second in the standings in the Prem?
Yep.
This game should be tighter, and they just got fucking annihilated.
They did. Yeah, we're starting to see just money dictate results now, aren't we? It's finally happening. Professionalism is here now. It's just not here everywhere, is it? It's here in some places, but not others.
It looks, like I said last week too, it looks bad for the Prem.
It does. Especially since they tried to keep a lot of marquee signings by paying guys competitive or relative to France competitive wages, and it literally bankrupted 3 teams. Mm-hmm. They lost 3 professional rugby teams who,
it's the most English shit ever.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I shouldn't laugh as a Welshman because holy fuck, we're not the best state.
We shouldn't be doing this. We don't have, like, the accountant is just like screaming. He's like, please guys, don't spend this money.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Then the head of the RFU comes in with a cigar and a Monopoly jacket.
You're just going to let the French have everything?
Yeah. I'm not having some froggy tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Spend. Yeah.
That's like the rivalries, eh? France versus England.
It used to be. Yeah.
Because they're kind of both the big dogs.
Yeah.
And they both want to be the big dog.
Yeah.
And they've been like fighting with each other forever.
Thousands of years.
To be the big dog.
Yeah, well, not that. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Yeah, there's definitely like a real historical rivalry of like, European superpowers. And I think France have kind of figured it out in terms of rugby.
And sports-wise in general.
Yeah.
Because if France plays England in soccer,
they win.
France is going to pound them.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they've got a much better team. Yeah, and it's the same story, right? Like, both of them have professional leagues with a lot of foreign players in it, and it's totally decapitated England on the national stage. But France seem to be able to get the results.
There's a ton of fucking money in France in general.
They do, and it's a bigger country with better weather, and so you understand why they would have the edge a little bit.
But if you go to England and you go to France and you kind of ask someone that doesn't know anything about anything, and then they like, yeah, here's London, here's Paris.
Yeah.
Which one of these countries is like richer?
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna go with England.
Yeah. Well, it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brexit really. London used to be the financial center of the world. Maybe it still is, but yeah, they've definitely taken a hit since we left Europe. So I think the future is France. The future is blue.
The future is bleu.
Allez le bleu. Anyway, yeah.
And also with this Harlequin Stormers game, you don't learn anything. I want to learn some things from my games.
I do. I want to know where Harlequins are at.
I want to anticipate things in the future. Now I have no fucking idea.
Yep. And it doesn't prepare them well, right? Because Harlequins and Glasgow had a similar path the last couple of seasons where they both played really exciting attacking rugby. They were really successful in their domestic league. Harlequins just never quite could get over the finish line. And then Glasgow, almost surprisingly, at least to me, did. But now I watch Harlequin Stormers and I don't know where Harlequins are at. Yeah, so you're totally right. Like it ruins the narrative, doesn't it?
Well, let's go on to Sunday's games here.
Okay.
The first one I got here, Benetton Bath. Benetton beat Bath 22-21. Now Bath didn't send out the strongest squad.
I hate that you have to preface by saying that, but it is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to justify the score lines.
Yeah, you do.
Right? So they didn't send out the strongest squad and almost took it from Benetton.
Yeah, and actually, to be fair to Bath, I feel like I could send a slightly less strong squad and be reasonably confident of beating Benetton even at home. And I don't want to disrespect Benetton, but Bath just have more resources, don't they? But, it backfired. This is very similar to Leinster thinking, we'll probably win if we send this team South Africa.
Yeah, and that's 2 losses in a row in the Champions Cup for Bath.
Yeah, and a close loss last week, wasn't it?
Now Benetton's make it to the top 16.
Now they're in. Yeah, this could be the Rainbow Cup all over again.
Like, they have to win one of their last 2 games now.
Yeah.
So they're in a have to win situation. There's actually a few teams out.
Yeah, and Benetton were one of the weaker teams in that group.
Yeah, the Bulls are in a have to win situation now. Like there's a few teams here that like you're gonna want to see. I want to see the Bulls in the knockout stages at least.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad.
Saracens going to Stade Francais.
I called. I can't remember what I called.
I think you called Saracens.
I think I did. Yeah, don't write off Saracens, the vampires of English rugby. Good for them.
Going over to France.
Yeah, never
playing
easy.
at home. They put their best team out.
Yeah.
Because it's a home game for a French team.
Yeah.
And for them to take that win.
Kind of. Anytime I see 28 in the score, I'm like, that was clinical. Like 4 tries, 4 converted tries.
Do
clinical.
you think that they are like? Do you think that Saracens are like the team
to win the Champions Cup?
Do you think they're one of them?
Yeah, they could. They could. Why not?
Do you believe? Are you like a believer?
I don't believe in the sense that I'm emotionally invested in them. I just know it's a bad idea to write off the Saracens because they will always be competitive. They have a history in the competition. They know how to win big games. It's just kind of, it's like Munster. Like the Champions Cup's kind of in their blood. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get knocked out, but I wouldn't write them off, I wouldn't write them off.
I'm kind of putting them up there. I'm kind of putting them in a situation where I think that they are probably one of the top 4 teams.
Yeah, could see it. I could see it.
Because the way they're starting to, the way they're performing in the Prem, and now seeing these results.
Yeah.
Because they had 2 hard games in a row.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Because last weekend they beat the Bulls.
Yeah.
The Bulls put out
actually a good team.
Yeah, top squad.
Yeah.
And then they fucking bullied the shit out of them.
They did. Yeah. Wasn't it in South Africa as well?
Nope. It was in
Lions.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, you got 2 like really impressive results, 2 impressive wins.
Yeah.
Definite wins.
Yeah. So you're basically in the knockouts now.
I think we're seeing one of the top favorites here.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And the game we watched today, Glasgow Toulon.
Yeah, I'm glad we watched a game together. It's been a while.
How did you feel about this game?
I felt like...
Give me your expertise here.
I will. My expert tea. Never mind, that was awful. Glasgow... I always felt like Toulon were the stronger team, and Glasgow just don't go away, do they? They just don't go away, and I really respect them for that. And they could have won this if they'd have scored their last try 5 minutes earlier.
If they didn't take that penalty, that shitty penalty at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And Glasgow did butcher some chances, and I was surprised by Toulon's defense. I thought Toulon's defense was excellent in the first half, especially. Tui Pelotu is fucking incredible. That guy is the spark that makes that team go from being on the back foot to winning games. So could it have gone either way? I think Toulon always deserved that win overall, but I think Glasgow were really good to stay in it, and I think Glasgow could probably... we could see him in the semi-final or the final, actually.
Just every time Toulon took a lead, Glasgow just came back.
They did, didn't they? Yeah, and there were times where I thought like, oh, Toulon have got this. They're going to creep ahead now.
Were they ever leading in this? Oh yeah, they were leading at the end.
Who, Toulon?
No, they weren't leading at the end.
No,
I'm just trying to find out if Glasgow was ever leading in this game.
I don't think they were. But they were never getting battered, but they were always chasing it,
I think we haven't seen the best of Glasgow yet.
No, we haven't.
In this tournament. I think there is a step up for this squad.
Yeah.
This is a special squad.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. And I know we take the piss out of Duncan Weir, but...
Yeah, that's the only thing,
But it does feel like a weakness, actually.
It's holding them back.
I think it is. They need Finn Russell back. Finn Russell needs to come home.
Oh, I'm not talking about Duncan Weir is fine skill-wise. I wasn't talking
He's
about...
a good player.
Yeah, I'm not talking about his skills or being... I think he's a fine 10 for them. I was talking about his looks. What were you talking about?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, he is just not good-looking enough to be a 10. And that is holding Glasgow back.
Yeah. They've got the rock star status. They need the rock star looks.
You can't have an ugly 10.
No.
You're the face of the team on the day.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have this fucking guy that like looks like he does like insulation or something like that as a job. Like he just comes in.
Yeah. I want Cameron Redpath to go to Glasgow to then, add a bit of youth and sexy to their backline maybe.
Like you can't expect to win when you have the faces of your team are Duncan Weir.
And you're playing Charles Olivon, one of the sexiest men in France, if not the world.
Okay, we got to talk about this because he is like...
Yeah, he's a hot guy.
Extraordinarily good looking.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And we creeped on his wife.
We did. Yeah, we did that a lot today.
Super babe.
Of course she is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing that guys do.
Yeah.
I wonder what that guy's wife looks like.
Everyone does that. Don't act coy about it.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Or we're just weird?
No. I think if I see a person, I'm like, what does their girlfriend look like? Just because I want to know. I do it all the time.
Because we also creeped on Talakai's wife.
We did.
on online too. We're like, I wonder what his wife looks like.
Yeah, we did.
Because he's not a good-looking dude.
He's strange. When he had hair, he looked a bit more normal. He's old now as well, though. He's like 31, which is peak prop age, to be fair. It is peak prop age, you know.
Yeah, he's just not because I saw him because he looked like this like troll. And we're like, who the fuck is this guy? We had to look him up.
Yeah,
are you getting cringe here?
A little bit.
I can see you being uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm physically retracting. Yeah, a little bit.
I'm going to try to stretch this.
It's funny though. It is funny. I'll listen to you do it if you want.
You know, who do you think is the best looking rugby player in the world?
Lee Halfpenny.
No, he looks weird now.
He does. Looks a bit gaunt. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Okay, currently.
Because if you want to go back, we can go Lee Halfpenny, that Malachi Fekitoa guy. He was a good looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, there's a lot of good. It's hard to choose, actually. It's hard to choose.
Finn Russell. Don't ruin his face.
Yeah, I mean, who's that? There was a Scottish guy. Hugh Jones is a pretty good looking dude, although in a kind of John Cena built in a lab kind of way.
Robbie Henshaw.
Robbie Henshaw's a good looking man. Robbie Henshaw is a very good looking man.
Connor Murray.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Who was the old fullback for Ireland? Keenan or
Rob Kearney.
Rob Kearney, yeah.
The Kearney boys.
Yeah.
They were good looking guys. Yeah, the Kearney brothers.
Vunipola.
Which one? Because what you say next will affect what I say.
When I first saw Mako Vunipola, I was like, that guy is like, what is he, like 40?
Yeah.
And he was like 27. He was younger than me.
He has not just an old soul, but an old face. Yeah.
There's one thing we have to talk about.
Okay.
Have you watched the new rugby show on Netflix?
About the Koreans?
Yes.
No.
Rugged Rugby.
Is it a fictional thing or is it a documentary?
It's a competition show.
Okay.
It's like, you know how like Korea's spitting out all these like crazy competition shows? Have you watched any of them?
No.
Have you watched like the Fitness 100?
No.
They have like 100 people from like all sorts of disciplines in athletics.
Yeah.
And they compete in these like competitions to find out who has the best physique. And that's how they phrase it.
So it's like CrossFit, but more sensationalist.
Yeah, it's kind of like they'll have them like, they had this like one where they had a ball.
Yeah. Like
a large ball. And one person had to hold on to it and there was a timer and the other person had to get the ball from them.
Yeah.
There was one competition where they had to hang from a bar.
Yeah.
And they were all hanging from this rack and then the floor disappeared and they started falling.
Did they know this was going to happen?
No.
Oh.
And like people got injured in the first season, like hard. And it's stuff like that. Like one, they had this thing where they had to keep pulling a rope, or they had a team thing where these guys had to like throw a bunch of heavy barrels into this boat, and then they had to drag this boat on sand. Like they're
doing
like
blood sport.
So this Rugged Rugby is exactly like that.
Oh.
It took like I watched the.
So
first
they play a game of rugby, or?
Let me get to that.
All right.
So they brought in the top 7 teams.
Yeah.
So rugby in Korea, there's like a semi-professional league,
right,
that has about 4 or 5 teams in it.
Okay.
So they had those teams.
Yeah.
Then they had the military rugby team.
Yeah.
And they had 2 of the top university teams.
Yeah.
In this competition.
Yeah.
And they all come in, and then they're like, there's like an announcer guy, and he's like, "Okay, I want your captain to vote who is the worst team here and who is the best team."
Yes.
And then so they all did that.
Yeah.
And it took like a half hour.
What does it cause drama?
Oh, there's a lot of dramatic music.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's like
heavily edited.
But if you're gonna watch this show, do not watch it subtitled. Watch it dubbed. Because the dubbing is like the English dub.
Yeah.
If you're watching the English dub,
it
is so fucking brutal.
Yeah. I mean, they're always bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely doing that then.
Look at his physique. His physique is so amazing.
Just bad translation.
And how they talk.
Yeah.
Wow, he's really powerful. Look at his legs. You could tell he has much power. Like it's just shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like it goes on and on.
Yeah.
So they started off with a scrum competition.
Yeah.
So you won by scrumming in and getting a try.
Right.
Or holding the scrum up for 20 seconds.
Just pushing back.
Yeah.
It's like an inverted tug of war.
Yeah. So it was basically scrum porn.
Yeah.
But then if you won, you had to stay, and then another team comes.
Oh, that's horrible.
So yeah. So you could just tell. The big thing about it is like you just tell like, okay, these guys are tired as shit. They're gonna lose.
And the producer of the show has no idea how rugby works. So like getting you to like winner stays on in a scrum. I mean, I guess confidence is a thing. Did you ever watch Takeshi's Castle back in the day?
No.
Japanese game show. And it was like one of the originals for just being mental and brutal, right?
It's just one of those things you see on the internet where there's like this crazy.
Yeah, there'll be like someone will be running along like a narrow wooden platform over a swamp, and these giant boxing gloves will like come out of a wall, and they will just knock people out into the water. You know, and it's brutal, and it sounds like a kind of a watered down version of that. Basically,
there's no safety.
Yeah,
there's no safety. So
because scrums are dangerous. You know,
and they're doing it over and over and over.
Yeah,
and over
someone's
again.
gonna break their bloody neck.
So that was the first episode. They didn't finish it.
Yeah.
So I don't know who won.
Yeah.
But they're gonna do a bunch of competitions like that. I think there's kicking.
Yeah.
There's like ball chase. There's a bunch of different rugby skills that all these teams have to compete with each other in. Then they get placed in a bracket.
Yeah.
Where they have to. Then they're going to play a game.
Like a game of rugby. It's all leading up to a game of rugby.
So 2 of the games are in... the 2 games are going to be in perfect conditions.
Yeah.
On a field.
Yeah.
And then they're like, the 3rd game will be done in the rain. And they're like, how do they know it's going to rain?
Yeah.
So they're all questioning this. And I'm thinking they're going to be in somewhere where they're just going
to drop water on them.
They're just going to do... like just drenching the shit out of them.
Yeah, there's going to be sprinklers just
like,
going
I don't
the
know
whole time.
how they're going to do it, but it's going to be like, it's going to be in some form where it's going to be dangerous.
You know, what I was worried about is when America started putting money into rugby, and we talked about this, how they were just going to commercialize it and make it ridiculous. Like they're going to have 3-ball overtime or some, and it's like, oh, it's surprisingly the Koreans are doing that. Like, I thought the Americans would do that first. Nope, the Koreans are just messing with our game.
Yeah,
you know?
they're full on investing in this. It's going to be a shit show the whole way.
Yeah,
and I'm 100% in love with it.
Historically, what's happening recently is that a lot of things Japan was famous for. Korea is kind of doing better than them now. So, you know, you had your J-pop, and then Korea's like, hold my beer. And now everyone loves K-pop. And Japan obviously had a really strong film industry for the longest time. And now Korea is just making unreal films. Like their film industry is genuinely incredible. I think Japan's still got anime going for it. But I've seen some Korean animes, and they're pretty good. And, you know, Japan's invested a lot of money in rugby. It's not going how they would like. And then Korea's like, we're just going to do the same thing, but a bit weird and different.
It was a very odd show to see.
It is weird.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, who pitched this idea? And someone was like, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Because rugby is a spectacle. Like when people watch rugby, they see the highlights of how violent the sport is.
Yeah.
It's a very attractive... it was probably pretty attractive to like pitch a reality show.
And I'll say something else as well, because when I went to Korea, because they have South Korea, obviously, when they have national service, so a lot of the young men you see in Seoul, in the capital, who are in like military uniform, they're big fucking guys. Like there's a bit of a stereotype that like Asians aren't as tall or as big. That was not my experience in Korea. These are big, strong men, right? Mm-hmm. And so I could see if there's like a kind of masculine, slightly militarized culture, that would be really appealing to them. Because I was watching some clip of someone on Joe Rogan talking about rugby and saying how he's surprised it isn't as big as it is in the US because Americans like violent contact sports, and rugby is the perfect.
Is this the guy? He's like an ex-Navy SEAL?
Something like that. And he was talking complete shite as well.
He was like, I was playing, smashing everyone.
Yeah, and he said he made 80 tackles in a game.
80 tackles.
Yeah. Alan Wynne Jones never made close to that.
That right there, like you know what the most tackles is in a game?
Not more than 40.
It's like 33.
Yeah.
Or 38 or something.
Yeah, and that's ridiculously high.
That's ridiculously high.
That's exhausting.
For expecting how much time the ball is in play.
Yeah.
Versus how much time he had to make a tackle.
Yeah.
Like right then and there, like why is this guy on this show?
Yeah.
You just know he's full of bullshit right then and there.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Making like 80 tackles. Okay.
Yeah, at least pick a realistic number. Say 42.
Well, I think when guys like that, like everything is amplified because they have like, they got to like market to their like fans of like 14-year-old boys.
Yeah.
So everything's like super and mega.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I would fucking laugh so hard. I was like, what
Yeah,
the
no
fuck?
idea what he's fucking talking about.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
what the fuck? And Joe Rogan's eating it up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, fucking dummy.
Yeah. I mean, but there is some truth in there, and that is, I'm surprised rugby hasn't captured their imagination in the way it seems to be in Korea. I don't know. You know, so
it's going to take a lot
to dislodge football.
You can't dislodge
football. It's not possible.
Because the games are they're compared to each other way too much.
They are, and they're not the same, are they? And I actually think I learned a lot from listening to Louis Rees-Zammit talk to Jim Hamilton about NFL in one of these interviews. I was surprised by some of the things he said, and then I have gone back to it with a bit more of... I realize now that if you're an NFL athlete or something, it is about that explosive 2 or 3 seconds, isn't it? And because of that, they operate at a much higher level for much smaller periods of time. And that is, it's a big difference though, right? It is a big difference.
You're talking about a sport where there's an average of 11 minutes of actual play time.
Yeah, so you better be fucking incredible during those 11 minutes. So those
5 seconds that you're like actually working have to be the best 5 seconds.
Because there's 50 other guys who want that spot as well, right? And that's not quite the same in rugby because you can afford some mistakes over 80 minutes because you're going to make a mistake over 80 minutes, aren't you? Everyone is.
And the NFL has already made a big announcement. A bunch of rugby players are taking over.
They are. They've got a guy from Ulster. They've got a couple more Australians.
This is just 100% a marketing ploy.
It definitely is.
These guys aren't going to make it in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's only to attract eyes onto the NFL.
Yeah, they've been trying to do this thing where they play a game in London once a season. And I do think it had some impact. But it makes me sad in a way because rugby union don't come... We're still... You know, we're not... We love talking about it and we have a lot of fun watching rugby. This sport is not as secure as people make out.
No.
If you want the sport to be globally successful, you have to have a minimum of 5 countries who have, you know, the finances to support it. We actually don't have that.
The majority of the teams, the clubs, the popular clubs, the top pro clubs, are hanging on financially by a thread.
Yeah.
You have most of the upper management in all the top rugby leagues always continuously make the wrong decision.
They do.
Like, we were watching that game today.
Yeah.
Glasgow.
Yeah.
And Toulon.
Yeah.
And there was a penalty.
Yeah.
And then the game just keeps going on. And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we?
Like, why there's no one in the rugby world being like, hey, maybe we should put the penalty that the ref called.
The decision on the screen.
Which
is something you said. I'm not trying to steal your thunder.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I like it a lot. It would be easy as well, wouldn't it? And it doesn't have to be immediate. The TMO just types a little thing and it pops up on the screen.
You could tell even the announcers are confused because they don't say it.
Yeah.
They don't say what happened.
Because the referee gave a yellow for collapsing a maul. Then he gave another yellow. And we didn't know why.
No.
And you said, well, if it's a yellow, it's penalty try.
Especially if you're looking away. Like what happens when I'm eating something and I look up and something happens.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Right?
I can be staring directly at the play and not know what the fuck the penalty was for.
Especially
a lot of
how
the time.
complex the rules are.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
help us out.
How is this not a thing?
Yeah, we do make a lot of the wrong decisions in rugby.
You don't need to stop the game like in the NFL and have the ref go to the center and be like, call, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to do that.
No.
You could just put it on the bottom.
Yep. Yeah, you can. Be simple.
Here is what happened.
Yeah, and the referee takes 2 seconds to properly, hey, TMO, this is the decision.
Offside, hands, something like that. Something we didn't see on TV or something.
Yeah.
But yes, back to what I was saying. So you have like a whole upper management in all these leagues that continuously make the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
They're not progressive enough to grow the sport. So you're right. Like it's a very volatile.
Yeah.
Like it's very susceptible to like just crashing down on itself.
Yeah. Some places are hanging on by a thread. You know, some places are a couple of cancelled internationals away from their union going bankrupt. Like genuinely. I think Ireland have really got it figured out in terms of the ownership of everything. Like, you know, just control all the systems. And if something's not doing well, we move one resource from here to there, which means they're never going to have these ups and downs, which is great. And New Zealand... It doesn't seem like Super Rugby is that well attended all the time, but I think their brand is strong enough that it will keep them going. France, England, South Africa, I think they're all doing okay. England has its wobbles. I think everyone else, though, is not... We're only a couple of cancelled games away from going under, you know? So when NFL is, I think, trying to poach players for publicity...
100%.
it feels mean, doesn't it? It just feels like viciously capitalist. Like, just leave us the fuck alone. We're not in the best place here. Can you stop stealing our best fucking players with the promise of fame and fortune, and then they sit on a fucking bench for 2 years?
Yeah, because Louis Rezamek is one of the best wingers in the world.
Yeah.
Wasting away on a fucking bench.
Still hasn't played an actual full professional game, has he?
In the US.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's like hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
Like they basically just like stole a star.
Yep, yeah. It feels manipulative as well, doesn't it? Because it is his dream, and I respect that. And it's like, I wish there was someone who's going to go to him. You know, there's a really low chance you'll actually play a full game.
Like, how long is it going to be for him until he realizes he's like not part of the team?
I think it took Christian Wade about 2-3 years, didn't it, before he came back?
Yeah.
And
then I think after that, I think it took him like 5 years to come back.
It did, yeah.
Anyways, we got the URC coming back next weekend.
Okay.
Let's make some predictions.
Okay, I just want to mention before we do that, Toulouse are battering Exeter, as I suspected they would.
Oh, I didn't see that happening.
Yeah, right.
And it's in Exeter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Munster, Ulster next weekend on Friday.
I'm waiting for Ulster's purple patch, but I'm going to call Munster.
Yes. Whew, here's a hot one. Zebre Benetton.
Oh. Zebre have got 2 good scalps this year. Munster and Ospreys, 2 convincing wins. Fuck it, Zebra.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it.
Stormers, Lions.
Do either of them have Willie LaRue?
No. How are they going to win the game?
Where's my
How
Willie?
are they going to fucking win the game?
How are they going to win without Willie?
Lions aren't shit this year.
No, Lions were the team to beat until they lost a couple.
Yeah. I'm going to say Lions.
I'm going to say Lions. Well, Stormers have a lot of injuries as well, so I'm going to say Lions, yeah.
Ooh, Sharks, Bulls, Sharks. Sharks going to bring all their boys back for this one.
Yeah, they've had their week off. They can fucking show what they can do.
Willie Roux cannot save them this time.
No.
It's all derbies this week.
Yeah, it is derby week.
It's going to be good. Glasgow, Edinburgh.
Edinburgh had a big win in the Challenge Cup, but it's still Glasgow. Glasgow pulled ahead of Edinburgh.
I think Glasgow are going to win this one.
Yeah.
Ospreys, Scarlets. What's this one?
You might laugh, I'm really excited for this game because both teams, Scarlets were shit last year, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Scarlets actually, they're not doing amazing, but every single game they've been competitive in. And Ospreys are very hot and cold, so I'm going to say Scarlets. Yeah.
And then Leinster, Connacht. I think Leinster are going to win this game.
I can't see anyone beating Leinster.
No.
I cannot see it.
And then the last game on a Thursday.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it because it's Christmas Eve or something weird?
Dragons. It's the day after Christmas.
Yeah, the Boxing Day derby. It's a thing.
Dragons, Cardiff.
If Cardiff lose, that'd be really fucking upset. But it'd be just
Dragons.
like...
It's in Newport.
It'd be just like the Dragons to fucking hamstring a fellow Welsh region when they really don't need that to happen. Yeah,
it's going to be perfect.
Obviously.
Dragons all the way in this one, baby.
Well, actually, so Cardiff now, we played the Cheetahs yesterday. We got some big boys back, right? Josh Adams is back. He looks good. Faletau's back. He looks good. We've got a couple of new guys who've just started. This guy Bowen's really good. So Cardiff should have the firepower to absolutely hammer them.
And today, the Dragons.
They beat Newcastle?
They beat Newcastle. See, I told you it happened.
The bargain bin
I was just
ball.
a week earlier.
Yeah. I'm happy for them, but it's nothing to write home about, is it?
And Scarlet's got a big win over Black Lion.
They did. They got their revenge on Black Lion. Yeah.
Well, I think we talked about everything we want to talk about this week.
Yeah, let us know if the echo is bad, Levi.
Oh, it's going to be bad.
Okay.
It's going to be bad. This is going to be a bad sounding episode.
Yeah, we may never do this again.
Recording on location in our rugby club.
In our women's away changing room.
Special.
I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was different. There were some technical issues.
Kind of feeling a little pressure. I'm worried, because people are going to be showing up for their meeting.
Yeah.
I was worried about people crashing in on us.
And they're a bunch of cunts, and they would come in and just be silly.
You guys
what are you doing? Playing your fucking Fisher Price podcast. Which would be really funny, to be fair.
Bullying us.
Yeah. That would be pretty funny.
All right, friends, like and share the podcast.
Yes.
Follow us on Blue Sky, YouTubes.
Yeah.
We're still, unfortunately, on X. I haven't checked it in a while.
Okay.
And email us at thefriendsofrugbypod@gmail.com.
I do actually want to know if the echo is annoying people, so if you want to let us know, please do.
Have a good one, folks.
Bye-bye.